Welcome back to 843 TV. Joining us now, we have David Green and Julie Kuhns here at the Osprey Village thrift store on Main Street. So let's start with you, David. You have been with Osprey Village really since its earliest conception, right? And you also have an adult son, Paul, who's involved with the program. So tell us a little bit about how all this began.
Right. Well, back in late 2007, a number of families who were involved with programs for exceptional people, the PEP Day program here on the island, started getting together and trying to figure out what do we do when we can't care for our son or daughter with autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, whatever the developmental disability might be. And out of that came an effort to figure out what is there available now. We found out at the time there were 5 group homes all north of the Broad River. So we started talking with the Beaufort County Disabilities and Special Needs Board about, are they going to get anything down here? Yes, they were planning on it. And then, of course, the recession of 2008 hit and all that went out the window. And we decided we can't just sit around and wait for things to happen. So I was part of the core group that started with getting incorporated as Osprey Village, Inc., putting together some plans for fundraising and so forth. I was the initial board president, and we got our 501c3 status in 2009, and we've been basically charging ahead as fast as we can, but it seems like 2 steps forward, 1 step back over the last 10 years or so. And really, it's something that is, it's such a critical need, as Jerry said. You've got 5,000 people on a waiting list across the state. You've got families who are getting older. I'm going to be ready for Medicare soon, and what happens with many widowed parents and caregivers and so forth. So that's the big concern. How do we address that need? And the whole idea of a neighborhood with a purpose, as we're calling it, it brings those families together, keeps them with or close by with their loved one who has a disability, and also connects them to the community.
Now, Julie, you're the operations director, so tell us a little bit about your role, how that you work with the rest of the staff.
Well, this is a nonprofit, so we all wear multiple hats.
I think I have 3 jobs now.
So I was brought on 2 years ago because my background is project management, and I've worked a lot in human services. When I initially came on, it was to work on things like grant writing, developing some programming opportunities for our adults with developmental disabilities in the community, helping to move forward with the village and kind of steer that direction as far as organizing an organization, if you will.
Very much needed.
Now that you've been going through this for a little while, what are some of the things that you most like to see accomplished?
For Osprey Village, well, getting it built would be, really and truthfully, everything that we're doing here is to give these individuals the opportunity to be independent adults, what we all want to be as we get older. And getting the community together to really support that idea, grab a hold of it, and understand that these are valuable contributors to this community and they have so much to offer. And everything I think that we do is a demonstration towards that, from building a village to some of the programs that we're operating currently.
So David, you have in your family one of these valuable contributors. What have you heard Paul and maybe some of the other Osprey Village clients express in terms of what they want?
Well, if you can imagine,
because I'm sure
imagine
you hear
you're a 36-year-old guy living at home with his parents.
Sure.
Okay. What's one of the first things our Paul is going to say? Mom, I don't really want to live here anymore. I want to live somewhere by myself, away from you. And natural thing. Now, can he do that? In many ways, yes. He's got a lot of independent living skills, but doesn't have a clue about finances, perhaps, or wouldn't be able to make appointments to get somewhere and that type of thing. And one of the programs Julie's been working on is Uber training, so people can utilize that service to get places.
That's great.
And so it's all about how can we make them as independent as possible, but still maintain their connections with their families and friends. And that's really the whole goal behind this.
Address what you would like the community understand about these individuals. I think there's a lot of misconceptions What could clear that up? What helps those watching to understand how they can be valuable? Share with us a little bit about that.
There's a popular concept or belief that these are perpetual children.
Yeah.
I mean, right? We hear this all the time, and that doesn't do these individuals any favors.
No.
And it doesn't help our community to understand them. They learn differently than we do, and like all of us, they have skills that they excel in and things that they just don't excel in, and that's okay. It's important that we grab hold of what we know they can do and push them and teach them to reach the absolute highest potential that we can, because at the end of the day, it's kind of what we all want. And that shows a level of respect for these individuals and values what they can contribute.
In the case of Paul, he plays the keyboard. So he's part of our music group over at St. Francis by the Sea.
Oh,
we
that's
play there
great.
regularly.
Yeah.
He's now involved with Heroes on Horseback and riding horses out there. He
Great
still is a
program.
member of PEP. There's it's Special Olympics. So he's involved in 3 or 4 other organizations here in the community. And one of the things we've tried to do is reach out to them and coordinate our efforts. I helped to form the Beaufort County Disabilities Coalition as part of the Human Services Alliance, just to bring these organizations together, because we're all serving the same people very often. And
That's
it's just
right.
a matter of how can we make their lives better through whatever we specialize in as far as helping and serving and supporting them.
Well, again, there's so much to learn. It's a wonderful topic where we can be we need education on it is the main thing. So we're going to come back. So we hope you stay right here. We'll be back with more 843 TV.